Part 1, Chapter 5. A couple of days later, my first delivery took me to a home right on the lake at the bottom of 12th Street. The long, one-story building looked more like a miniature factory than a house. Rena had warned me to be polite to the customers and had given me a long list of useless instructions. How hard can it be, I asked myself. Drop off the bag and leave. I didn't even have to handle the money. All the orders would be put on account. Rena had said to take the food to the back door, so I coasted down the driveway into the yard, parked the tank against the house, and lifted the bag of food out of the pannier. There were whitecaps on the lake, and a couple of Canada geese waddled across the lawn as if they owned the place. In the middle of the yard, a contraption shaped like an upended pail with a small box stuck on the side sat atop a pole. A little propeller turned slowly on the end of a rod that curved up and away from the main body. I rapped on the door. A voice thundered from somewhere inside. "Yeah?" "Rena's," I shouted, pushing the door open. "Nope, this is Abe's." I heard a booming laugh. "Just kidding. Come through to the study. Dump the goodies on the kitchen table on your way by." I went inside. A wide-shouldered man shouted a greeting. "How you doing?" From a chair where he sat tapping furiously on a computer keyboard. A spreadsheet filled the screen. On another monitor, colored shapes jerked across a map of North America as if pulled by invisible string. A large photo of a middle-aged woman had been placed between the computers. Cigar smoke hung in the air like a blue mist, and an empty glass stood on the desk beside a whiskey bottle and an ice bucket. The man gave one last tap and slowly swiveled around to face me. His bald head was fringed with graying hair, and he wore a white shirt and dark tie under a paisley vest. A cigar jutted from the corner of his mouth, smoke curling from the long ash at the tip. "Take a seat," he said, his voice like gravel. I lifted a stack of printed sheets from the only other chair in the room and put them on the floor. "Cup of tea or coffee?" he offered. "No, thanks. I'm okay." "I'd offer you a drink, but you're driving," he chuckled, as he reached for the bottle and poured a couple of inches of whiskey into the glass. Ice cubes clinked as he took a sip. "So you're Rena's nephew," he said. "Yep. I'm Abe Krantz, and you're Lee. Rena's a mensch. She and my late wife were great friends. I was happy to hear she's starting a delivery service. Makes things easy for me. I don't like to cook much. I guess I'll be seeing you a few times a week. I don't get much company. Central to Charlie 3? I looked up towards the source of the static and tiny voice. A small object the size of a desk phone, plastered with colored buttons, sat on a shelf beside a row of reference books. "It's a scanner," Krantz explained, picking up a remote. "Also a two-way shortwave radio." He pressed a button, and a metallic computerized voice reeled off temperature and humidity, then started into a weather forecast. Krantz thumbed another button, and the lights on the radio died. "Lets me listen in on the cops, fire department, ambulances, and other stuff. Also the weather, including marine. I'm a watcher." "A what?" "Did you happen to notice the weather station in the yard?" That ungainly-looking thing on the pole?" "Oh, yeah. It measures precipitation, temp, humidity, wind velocity, and direction, and a few other things, then feeds the data to the receiver on the wall over there." He pointed to a gray box with an LED screen full of numbers. "It's wireless, and it downloads to the computer every 2 hours, also wirelessly. The computer compiles the data, develops local forecasts, charts patterns, etc., etc." "Great," I said. "So I always know what the weather will be tomorrow and forward." "Why not just listen to the radio? I mean, the normal one." "Because it isn't very accurate. Besides, this is more fun. There's lots more to it." "I'll bet," I said, thinking, sounds pretty lame to me. Krantz laughed. "We've barely met, and I've already bored you to death with everything you didn't want to know about weather watching. What do I owe you for the takeout?" "Rena said she'd run a tab for you." "Okay, well, give me something for dropping it off." I got to my feet. "That's okay. Delivery's free." He took out his wallet and handed me a $5 bill. "Maybe so, but take this anyway, as a favor to me." I stuffed the bill into my pants pocket. "Forgive me if I don't see you out," Krantz said. "Put the lock on the back door when you go, will you?" "Sure, and thanks." "See you soon," he said, and turned back to the keyboard. "And take your umbrella with you tomorrow. It's gonna rain." I climbed onto the tank and wheeled out onto the street. $5 tip, I thought. This courier thing is okay. That night, just after I climbed the stairs to my room, the phone rang in Rena's apartment. After she spoke for a few minutes, she called out, "Lee, it's for you." The phone was in her kitchen. She was sitting at the little table by the window, a glass of wine beside the newspaper, a smoking cigarette in the ashtray beside it. I picked up the phone. "Hello?" "Lee, it's Dad." I hesitated for a moment, then, without saying anything, cut the connection. Rena looked up from her paper, her face neutral. "See you in the morning," I said. I trudged back upstairs and threw myself onto my bed facing the wall. I knew he'd call back, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a few days. He'd keep at it. He was stubborn. "Determined," he used to say to my mother. "Bull-headed," she'd reply with a smile. I rolled over and kicked off my shoes, my eyes coming to rest on a plastic tumbler on my night table. I had brought it upstairs earlier in the evening, full of cola. I remembered the mornings when I was a little kid, when I got up and padded into the kitchen, cotton-headed with sleep and rubbing my eyes. My breakfast would be ready, my own special cereal bowl with my name printed in a line around the inside of the rim, Lee, 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 in one continuous word. My own white plastic tumbler with a red spaceship on the side and a cloud of blue stars full of apple juice. A big silver spoon with CN engraved on the handle. A carton of cold milk and a box of puffed wheat. Unsweetened, because Mum was always on a campaign against refined sugar, Mum sitting in her housecoat reading the paper. The morning after she was rushed to the hospital, my father had laid out my breakfast, and when I came into the kitchen and saw it, I freaked, knocking the milk carton onto the floor, flinging the cereal box across the room, sweeping the glass and the bowl off the table, crying and screaming. "What's the matter?" my father said over and over as I wailed. "What's the matter?" He finally figured out what I had been unable to explain. He had put out the wrong bowl, used the wrong glass, chosen the wrong spoon. He mopped up the lake of milk and puffed wheat and made things right. I ate my breakfast, sniffling, not sure what had happened. From then on, the morning routine never changed. But I guess I did. I stopped eating puffed wheat, stopped breakfast altogether, even stopped gulping down the juice as I flew out the door, late for school. When I was in high school, right up to the day he kicked me out, I saw the same damn bowl and spoon and tumbler in the same damn place at the table every morning, like he was making some kind of point, like he was trying to preserve something we both knew was gone.